Hey everybody, it's Austin Ward back here for Lettermen Row with another BuckIQ. We've got Beanie Wells in the building, former Ohio State star, NFL star. He knows a thing or two about running the football, and it's National Signing Day. The early period starts here. Ohio State got one signature for a tailback. Beanie, I know that's got to excite you, a new guy to put on that scarlet and gray, carry on your tradition. Marcus Crowley is joining the Buckeyes.
I can't wait to see a young kid get an opportunity with Ohio State. I love anytime we get a running back added to that running back room. You know, we've had a great standing tradition of adding great talent to that RB room, and I can't wait to see what this kid has to offer.
It's one in, kind of one out. Mike Weber declared for the draft this week. Not a huge surprise, but you got to have somebody else in the pipeline to replace Mike Weber.
No doubt, and I think we've been doing a very good job of getting guys at a young age being able to come in and be productive coming in at Ohio State.
Marcus Crowley flipped from Miami to Ohio State in November. He's from Jacksonville, Florida, Trinity Christian Academy. It's a program that's been familiar to Ohio State. Beanie and I are going to watch some of those high school highlights, see if we can learn anything about this guy as he signs and gets ready to head up to Columbus to join the tailback room there. So let's roll the tape. All right, Beanie, I don't know what all we can learn from some of these highlights. They're obviously going to look pretty good, but you have a closer eye for this stuff with tailbacks than I do. So here's Marcus Crowley already running wild.
You know, one of the things that I always look for in a young running back is this vision. You know, you can see guys, you can look at their speed, you can look at them separate, you can look at their ability to be able to break tackles, but I love watching a young guy's vision. That's something that a guy can take to the next level when he gets to college, is how he sees things on the football field.
When you see somebody like this fighting through those tackles at the line of scrimmage, I mean, that seems like a pretty standard Ohio State thing to do, especially out of that shotgun formation, something that you did out of the I formation.
No doubt about it. I mean, it's one of the things you are going to have to do is you're going to have to be able to break tackles here at Ohio State. Things aren't always going to be pretty.
Right.
So you're definitely going to have to be able to make guys miss. And here you have it. You have a young guy that certainly can make guys miss, has the vision and has the speed to be able to separate.
How about a cut there, like on a dime?
Oh, man, that's something that you definitely can't wait to see at the next level. I always get excited when I see young guys be able to separate and have that speed, especially a kid coming out of Florida. You know, that Florida speed is a little bit different from elsewhere.
I was going to say, we don't know exactly the level of competition, but, you know, Trinity Christian has sent a few players now up to Ohio State. We have to think that this is pretty good. Might be able to learn something, especially those are some physical-looking guys trying to bring him down as he bounces to the outside.
I mean, just the sheer fact of him making guys miss like he's doing in the backfield. That was 8-9 cuts in the backfield right there.
I think all 11 guys had a piece of them. Count them up here. Holy, how are these guys missing?
Exactly. I mean, that's just sheer athletic ability by this young running back right here in making guys miss. And that tells you something about him. That tells you the type of athlete that he is and the type of player that we're getting here at Ohio State.
Probably not going to coach somebody to go give 5 yards away and bounce back with that cutback.
Not at all. I mean, and those are the things you look for when you're recruiting a young running back, is the things that you can't coach. And those plays that we just saw, him making those guys miss, that's something that you truly can't coach.
When you look at this body type, does it fit what Ohio State wants to do to you, Beanie, or does he need to change anything when he gets here? What's the first thing you see when you look at it?
Obviously, you always want a young kid to maybe add on a little bit more muscle, but I think this kid is a stout guy. I mean, when you look at him and you compare him to Mike Weber, a guy that we're losing, you compare him to J.K. Dobbins, Master Teague, I think he fits right in tune to how those guys are right now with the size. And then when you look at the speed and the ability that he has, I think he's a real similar fit right now to the guys that we do have on the roster.
A little play out of the backfield, that's been more important to Ohio State. It's the Ryan Day influence there. J.K. Dobbins we saw quite a bit on the screen games. Mike Weber had some catches. I had one for a touchdown this year. That seems to be, you know, they need these all-around backs, not just guys who can take the handoff.
Now more than ever. I mean, when you go back and you look at, you know, the Jim Tressel years and you compare them to the early Urban Meyer years, to the late Urban Meyer years going into Ryan Day's system,
yeah,
you know, you've seen running backs catch the ball tremendously more than in previous years. And that's something that's obviously going to be an important factor with the offenses that we're going to have.
Guy does not seem to shy away from contact.
Not at all. You want a physical running back. At Ohio State, you know, in the Big Ten, October, November, December football, it's always going to be physical. And this right here is another play that I love.
Check the lid.
Oh, man. You got a young running back. You see a sideline and you see a guy. You're going to lay that shoulder into him and be very physical. And you see that top pop right there. That's something that I love out of a young runner.
That's definitely something that Tony Alford will be looking for. Not a guy who wants to get out of bounds, one who fights for that extra yard, extra 5 yards maybe, depending at times, and then somebody who can pull away around the edge.
That's what it's all about, separating, creating opportunities. My coach would always tell me, using that stiff arm right there, that's beautiful. That's an underutilized thing in college football, is a stiff arm. But my coach would always tell me, when it's blocked for 2, you got to be able to go get me 4. And this running back certainly goes and gets more than his block for it, because we've seen a couple of times I watching film where these running back play or these run plays were stopped in the backfield, and he's created opportunity.
We saw that last year at times when Ohio State's running game was struggling, that sometimes J.K. Dobbins and Mike Weber weren't able to make those extra yards come with the way it was blocked. And finally, it was just that challenge. I remember in November, Mike Weber seemed to take it upon himself. He's going to make some of these crazy cutbacks, go fight for extra yardage. Sometimes that's just what a running back has to do.
You have to. You have to have those things, like I talked about earlier, that the coach can't coach.
Yeah.
You have to have those natural instincts, those natural things that separate you from everybody else that's a running back on your football team and in the country. And some of these things that I'm seeing, I know it's early with this young kid, and he's in high school right now, but some of these things that I'm watching on this film with him, he has that ability.
Probably a reason why Ohio State went down to Florida to get this kid, Marcus Crowley. He's signed with the Buckeyes. He's joining that running back room where Beanie Wells was once a part. Passing on that legacy, trying to continue the tradition there. And Beanie will be breaking him down throughout his career with us right here at Lettermen Row. So for Beanie Wells, I'm Austin Ward. We'll see you next time on BuckIQ.